Good morning, listeners. It is 9:30 of Friday, the 23rd of March, and you're listening to Arrow FM, your community radio broadcasting on 92.7 FM this morning. And we're now launching into our programme called Carterton Connections, sponsored by the Carterton District Council, for which we thank them for the airtime. My name is Rob Weaver, and with me is my wife, Val.
Good morning, folks.
And in the studio this morning, we have Alison Woolard, Principal of Carterton School, and I bet every pupil wanted you to be here.
Kia ora koutou. Morning, everybody.
Morning, Alison.
Well, thank you so much for coming in this morning, Alison, and taking time out of your very busy schedule today of all days. So we really appreciate that. So can you tell us, Alison, would you like to start telling us about what your job entails?
Certainly. What I love about my job is it is completely varied, and I never really know what's going to happen from one day to the next, or sometimes 1 hour to the next, and that's what keeps me interested and engaged in what I do. So the job of a principal is very challenging at times. I was a classroom teacher for a long time, and then gradually I took on more leadership and management roles in schools. And so now I'm a principal. My position really is all about still keeping the students at the centre, but enabling all of the other things that happen around the students to happen in the most efficient and effective way. So part of my work will be working with teachers and support staff. This morning I came from a finance meeting, so I oversee the finances of the school and how we're spending our money and how we're budgeting.
That's a huge job for you.
It is, and it's a big challenge. Our operation grants are never enough for us to do everything we'd like to do, so it's a big balancing act there. And then there's the property, the personnel, there's the talking with parents, which I love, all the aspects of the school. So the job, whilst I need to keep up to date with teaching, learning, curriculum and leadership aspects, is really vast.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just such a broad spectrum of activities. So you're a member of or you sit with the Board of Trustees?
Absolutely. I'm a full member of the Board of Trustees, so we have 5 elected parents, a member of staff who's a trustee, and myself. So, yeah.
It's amazing the amount of work that goes on to run a school. I never realised until we spoke to you the other day that there's just all this stuff going on under the covers, as it were.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So did you realise this before you even wanted to become a teacher?
I think as you move through your career, you see the next challenge, and so it happened like that. I always dreamt of being a teacher in a small country school, and that was always a little dream, but I didn't ever know that I would get there. So, yeah.
Well
you see, dreams can come true.
They can.
Yeah.
They can.
So how long have you been a teacher and then followed by being a principal?
Well, I've been a teacher all of my working life.
Okay.
So that's over 30 years. And I've been a principal, and my first principal's position was in the Wairarapa at Gladstone School. And I've been a principal for 17 years now, which is shocking because it feels like about 6 or 7.
Yes.
Time has flown by.
So you're obviously really enjoying it because the time's just disappeared.
And every year is different. I think that's what the joy of teaching is too.
Yeah.
Like every day is different. Every year for me is different with a different focus and challenge and work we're trying to do. So,
and all the children are different too, aren't they?
They are.
They bring some colourful life.
They certainly do.
Yeah.
So you've got all a whole spectrum of pupils as well, because not only do you have New Zealanders, white and Maori, I'm going to use the term white generically, but there must be other nationalities that come into the school as well.
More so now.
Where English is not necessarily their first language.
In some cases, we've got a fantastic breadth of cultures in our school at the moment, and just at the beginning of this year, we've got actually 15 different cultures represented at our school.
Oh, wow.
Which has really developed and changed over the years. So obviously, from my accent, you can hear that I did come from England originally, and I worked in inner city Bradford for many years, which I absolutely I loved. It. I absolutely loved the
diverse.
It was such an exciting place to work.
Yeah.
And so it's really exciting for me seeing more diversity coming to the Wairarapa. We're really
there's a big movement towards the Wairarapa now, isn't there, for people? They want to come and live.
You can
they
see
want
why.
to bring their children up in a country environment, which is so healthy for them.
They must have heard about Alison, eh?
Yeah, I reckon. We all want to go to Carterton
I think people hear about Carterton and the Wairarapa in general. There's always something happening. There are so many opportunities for people. It
is a live wire.
Proximity to Wellington as well is a real benefit. So it's a great place.
So since you have been teaching, Alison, how has teaching changed over the years for you?
I was thinking about this, and in a way, everything's changed and nothing has changed because things have. If you think back when schools first started in the Industrial Revolution, it was purely reading, writing and maths. We need to get these kids out into the workforce. And that's purely what it was.
That's where we've come from. That's our generation.
That's my background.
And that was, we needed to have those basic skills. But you look now at what's available for children and where the world they're living in, and their learning is far wider than it ever was before and far more directed from themselves, and so a lot of what they're interested in is what we're basing what we're teaching on. So curriculum has changed, and with the development of technology, the access to information and other people, the global side of education has really changed. So that has been a great learning for teachers, people like myself who have been in teaching for a long time. So a lot of that has changed, and as we go through different political regimes, things change. There's been a lot of pressure on teachers around paperwork and accountability, and I think in a way some of that has sometimes taken away from the spontaneity and joy that people might have in their role, but we try really hard to hold on to that, and so that's been one of the challenges that we've had over the last few years. But our New Zealand curriculum is really fabulous, the one that we've got now, launched in 2007, which 11 years ago, but that really focuses on schools developing a curriculum that suits their community. And to be honest with you, now that we're moving a bit away from we've moved away from the national standards concept, I think schools will be regaining their own community curriculum far more now. I mean, reading, writing and maths have got to be core. That's our core business for the students. They've got to leave with those skills. But we want to put it in a context that is going to be meaningful and useful for them and modern day learning.
So would you have a curriculum in Carterton that's different, say, from St Matthew's in Wellington?
Absolutely possible.
Because we're rural and they're urban.
Absolutely. Because there'll be key